talk a little bit about your experience here today.
So Philip Payton Society was gracious enough to have us out this weekend, and today in particular is our case competition. So leading up to our pitch, we have a series of speakers on a variety of topics, right? And what I think they did, I'm not sure it was intentional, but because of the strategy of the club, I believe it is, they really tailored these panels, multiple, for the interests of the students. So something that I'm really excited about and passionate about is ESG initiatives, especially within the built environment. And my heart has been kind of singing all day because of all of the climate advocacy work that has been talked about from a variety of perspectives, right? Like a policy perspective, as well as a built environment and development perspective. So that's something that's extremely exciting for me personally. And I know that people on my team are really invested in affordable housing, and that has been another key feature today and a main theme. So I think that just having a panel that's not just giving general life advice, but speaking to the things that we're uniquely passionate about is extremely salient. And this is our first opportunity to do a case competition in commercial real estate, because our team does have case experience, not with each other in particular, but we've done other case competitions. But to be able to do it within an industry niche that we're directly interested in is extremely important to us. And so that is what I'm most excited about. And then obviously, a little bit nervous for the competition, good nerves, a little bit of adrenaline and a little bit of cortisol to get me excited for the rest of the day. But, really looking forward to our pitch later.
Tell me a little bit about who's on your team, what their positions are, and what are some of the difficult things you found during this process,
right?
And some of the things that you found like, I didn't know, through all my time of what I've been learning, I didn't know that this was all involved, or
right.
Those three things.
Right, so I'll start with the team and just the people that our team is comprised of. So first we have Jada Cooper, and she is a junior, she is a junior psychology major. And then we also have Gia Tejeda, who is a senior economics major, management and organization, entrepreneurship and innovation double minor. So she's got the whole list. And myself, I am a sophomore undeclared major, and essentially what I would like to do is study ESG studies. I have to do an independent major proposal, so we're working on the process of that, but really just seeing the intersections of ESG work in a corporate environment. In terms of our team dynamic, this was divine intervention in terms of the makeup of our team, because we had not known about the case competition. We kind of got tapped on the shoulder like, hey, we're doing an HBCU real estate competition, Spelman, has a name in the HBCU community, would love if you guys could get a team together. And one person tapped another on the shoulder, and here we are. But it has really worked out in our favor because of the dynamics and our particular strengths. I will say that we each have strengths in varied verticals that come together really, really nicely. So I've been really fortunate to have an amazing team that even when, I'm having an off day or I'm just slammed with academic work or other life responsibilities, there's always someone to guide us back to that focus. I will say, regardless of the synergy that I think that we have that has really worked in our favor, it has been extremely difficult because it is spring semester, which is extremely busy and it's extremely fast. We have a graduating senior, so she has a lot of life responsibilities that are tagged on to her year. We have a junior, which a junior year is the hardest academically. And then myself, I'm a transfer student, so navigating a lot of different nuances was definitely a particular struggle for us, but that's not to say that we haven't worked to overcome it. I fundamentally believe there is no success without adversity, and I will say we've had our fair share of adversity. And hoping that it manifests in success later today.
Is this your first time in New York?
Second, actually. Second, yeah.
So, competition brought you here.
Correct.
In the team.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about what that experience was like, who you met during this process, and what they take you to locations, look at buildings, or talk to me about that journey.
Right. So, I originally am from DC. So I'm familiar with cities, right? But New York is a very special kind of city, right? I will say that it definitely takes a certain type of person. I thought coming into New York to survive in New York and be comfortable in New York, but I think just like being here in a place that's very intentional about making a place for us regardless of where we come has made me see New York in a very hospitable light in a way that I wouldn't rhetorically have ever thought about New York. And it's only through the experience that I've been able to really kind of transform that mindset and say like, actually, like, no, I could make a place for myself here. There are people here that have, you know, similar mindsets, similar values, that I think seeing myself in New York is easier now than it was before. And actually really salient to this point is the recurring narrative is that New York is just so expensive, right? And regardless of what career you're in, New York is going to be expensive for you, especially as a young professional immediately out of undergrad, if you come immediately out of undergrad, starting your career. And we just had a panel about affordable housing and about how it should, well, not should, but can be top of mind for students who are attracted to the opportunities in New York, but maybe turned off by, you know, kind of the financial barriers of New York. And so really framing that for us and saying, you can come to New York. Like, there are places for you to live comfortably and to, you know, meet your financial needs and goals in alignment with your networking and early career goals. And so I do think coming to New York and having that particular framing was very special. Also, there's a certain grandeur of New York, right? Like, everyone wants to come to New York City, say that they've been in New York City. We went to the Ritz, which we talked about the importance of brand names and what that means and the connotation, the contextualization that brands have. So for us to interface with big names, not from a prestige perspective, but really from an achievement and strategy perspective, has been extremely salient. My team in particular toured Lend-Lease, and I will admit and be fully transparent, I had never really heard of Lend-Lease. They're our team sponsor, so when we said that we were going to Lend-Lease's office to tour and to really interface with them and to receive presentations from them, I didn't know what to make of that. I didn't know what to expect. I was willing to keep an open mind, but there were other tours happening that immediately I recognized the brand name and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I would love to do that, right? But I would not have changed our tour for anything. I loved Lend-Lease. They catered their presentation to demonstrated interests that we had communicated to them. So like I said, ESG and affordable housing and social impact, I think that's a consistent theme with my team, is we're really interested in social value creation. So they had a whole pitch on that, and they're extremely strategic about how they execute that and their goals and how they want to achieve that. So I think touring Lend-Lease was absolutely amazing. Later that day, we were able to tour a mixed-use development in Essex, in like Essex Market, and I love that. Very personal niche caveat, but I am vegan, and so New York is a very vegan accommodating city. And I had the opportunity of, you know, going to this market, and there was like all vegan like vendors. And for me, that's extremely important because I go to school in the South, which is not super vegan accommodating. So even from a dietary perspective, to feel like I have a place here, like from so many different aspects, right? Like financially, racially, dietary restriction wise, even I've had conversations about neurodiversity, right? We had a mental health conversation yesterday. There are so many streamlined ways of saying like, you can have a place here regardless of what you may have thought previously.